friends, and welcome to our science video. All right, we are going to open up our science book all the way to the beginning of our outer space journal. So you might have to turn for a few pages. Again, I'm going to say this every week, but I'm sorry for not numbering the pages. That was my mistake. So take your time, flip to the middle of your journal till you find where it says outer space journal. I'll give you some time. Okay, if you need a little more time, just hit pause, my friends. But we are going to turn to the next page where it says all about the sun. Yes, we are learning about the sun this week. We've watched videos, we've talked about it, we've read about it. Now it's time to show that our super smart brains are remembering some of that important information. So, I know we're thinking way back to Monday when we watched that video as a class. Hopefully you joined us for our class meeting to watch that video. If you didn't, that's okay. I want you to tell me what you know about the sun right now. Before we read anything, before we talk about it, I want you to answer this question. The sun is a what? What's the sun? Just give me your best answer. This is going to tell me what you know before we start talking about it today. Then I want you to write one fact about the sun. What do you know about the sun? Why is it important? What does it do for Earth? Write a fact that you think you know. So hit pause, fill in those two spaces, and come back when you're ready. Okay, if you're back with me, that tells me you've answered these two questions. The sun is a blank, and you have given me a fact about the sun. Now we're going to turn the page, and no matter what we learn on the next pages, I don't want you to erase this, okay? I want you to leave this just as it is so I can see what you knew before we started and what you were able to learn as we move forward. So let's turn the page. We are on the page that says the sun. We are going to answer these three questions. What is the sun? Why do we need the sun? And an interesting fact, okay? So let me switch my screen around and we're going to read some awesome information. Okay, it's a little tricky to get everything on one screen, but I think we got it. So first things first though, let's talk about what is the solar system. I don't know if anybody has ever heard that before, if we know what the solar system is, but let's talk about it so we have a better understanding of outer space. So what is the solar system? The solar system includes the sun and all objects that orbit around it because of gravity. Orbit is where it circles around. The solar system is made up of 8 planets. It is also made up of asteroids, comets, moons, stars, and much more. Okay? So our solar system has all of our planets, stars. Asteroids are big chunks of rock just floating through outer space. How old is the solar system? The solar system formed around 4.6 billion years ago. Oh my gosh. Astronomers, those are scientists who study outer space, have been studying the solar system for as long as humans have been looking at the sky. So for a really long time, astronomers have been trying to figure out what's happening in outer space. So a closer look at NASA. This is one of our astronauts now that goes out and explores outer space. NASA is the United States government agency that studies air and space technology. They train astronauts and research the solar system. So those are our scientists today that study outer space, that go to outer space. They try to figure out what's going on, pollution levels in the air, if there's something dangerous in outer space we need to be aware of. That's what NASA handles. So NASA studies the solar system, and the solar system is everything that orbits or moves around our sun. Okay. Speaking of which, let's talk about the sun. Are you ready? So, what is the sun? What is the sun? Uh-oh, that's almost like the first question we need to think about. So, every Everything in the solar system orbits around the sun. Gravity attracts all the other objects in the solar system towards it. The sun is actually a star made up of gases. So what is the sun? I'm going to read this one more time. Everything in the solar system orbits around the sun. Gravity attracts all the other objects in the solar system towards it. The sun is actually a star made up of gases. So what is the sun? Okay, if you need more time, hit pause. The next question is, why do we need the sun? Oh, why do we need the sun? Let's read this together. The sun gives off light and heat, which we need in order to live. Plants use sunlight to grow and create oxygen for humans and animals to breathe. So let's think about that for a second, and then we'll read it again. Why do we need the sun? One more time. The sun gives off light and heat, which we need in order to live. Plants use sunlight to grow and create oxygen for humans and animals to breathe. Like right now, I just took a deep breath because there's oxygen in the air. I need oxygen to live. If there's no oxygen, oh, Mrs. Sae-Wong, she's a goner. Okay? So those are some important reasons why we need the sun. I would like you to write down at least one or two of the reasons why the sun is important. Okay, now it's your turn to tell me an interesting fact about what we've learned. I'm happy with an interesting fact about the sun, or you can give me an interesting fact about the solar system. Okay, because the solar system revolves around the sun, which means there would be no solar system if there was no sun. So go ahead and hit pause and write down an interesting fact for me about either the sun or the solar system. Okay. If you're back with me, that tells me you're all done with this page. You're going to be sending me pictures of all these pages today, so make sure you are doing the work. You are filling them out so they're ready to go when we're done with the video. Now we're going to turn the page. Make the screen big again. There we go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to read the story about the sun, or the information about the sun. What you need to do, and there are certain colors that it's asking you to highlight or color, so if you want to grab your crayons or your color pencils, you may, or you can just circle or underline with your pencil. I will leave that up to you. But it does say for question number 1 to underline or highlight with yellow, number 2 with orange, and number 3 with red. So if you would like to go get your crayons or color pencils to be able to highlight, you can hit pause and grab those things. Come on back when you're ready. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I grabbed colors just to help you recognize which pieces of information will help us answer these questions. I'm going to read all of this information one time through without writing or coloring or highlighting anything. So just sit back and listen to the information. Then we're going to go through and read the questions, and we'll read through this again and underline with our colors so that you can answer these questions. Ready? Everything in the solar system orbits or revolves around the sun. Again, that just means it moves around it. So here's the sun, and let's pretend here's our planets. To orbit just means they go around it. They don't cross it, they don't bump into it, they just perfectly rotate around. Gravity attracts all the other objects in the solar system towards it. The sun is actually a star made up of gases. The sun gives off light and heat, which we need in order to live. Plants use sunlight to grow and create oxygen for humans and animals to breathe. Okay. So question number 1 asks, what revolves around the sun? So what rotates or orbits around the sun? So everything in the solar system orbits or revolves around the sun. So we're going to underline that in yellow. Okay. The next question asks, what is the sun? We're going to read and we're going to underline that answer in orange. So gravity attracts all the other objects in the solar system towards it. The sun is actually a star made up of gases. So we're going to underline that. That's going to help us answer number 2. Then number 3 asks, why do we need the sun? So we're going to be thinking about, why do we need the sun? The sun gives off light and heat which we need in order to live. Plants use sunlight to grow and create oxygen for humans and animals to breathe. So the sun gives off light and heat which we need in order to live. Plants use sunlight to grow and create oxygen for humans and animals to breathe. So, here's what I want you to do now. We know everything underlined in yellow helps us answer number 1. Everything underlined in orange helps us answer number 2. Everything underlined in red helps us answer number 3. So I want you to hit pause now. I do not want you to just copy these sentences. That's not what we're doing. You're going to read through the sentences again, and you're going to tell me in your own words what revolves around the sun, what is the sun, and why do we need the sun. Okay? So this is everything for number 1. This is everything for number 2. And this is everything for number 3. Okay? Just in case those colors are hard to see on the camera. Hit pause, and I want you to work on answering these 3 questions in your own words. Do not just copy the answer. Give me your own answer using this information. Hit pause, work on that, come on back when you're ready. All right, friends, if you're back with me, that tells me you have successfully answered all of these questions. Please be super proud of yourself. This is a lot of information. It's tricky to learn, but it's so important that we understand all the things that make up our solar system. And the sun obviously is the most important one because everything revolves around the sun. So next week, we're going to talk about the moon. But for now, we're all done. So when you head on over to Seesaw, you're going to see the science assignment. I want you to make sure you send me all 3 pages. 1, 2, and 3. I want to see all of them from you so I can see your super awesome science thinking. If you have questions, if you're confused, if this is really hard, please let me know so we can talk about it and we can work together. That's the only way I can help is if you let me know that you need some help. Now, somebody said last week, they asked if they could color in the plant pages. Absolutely. So when you're all done, if you want to color in your outer space journal, if you want to color in your sun, go for it. I love color. I love to see creativity, and I know that's a lot of fun for some of you. If that's not your jam, if you're like, whoa, Mrs. Sae-Wong, I do not like coloring, hey, I'm okay with that too. I just want to let you know that it is absolutely okay if you want to color this and make it your own. I love to see that creativity. All right, friends, I will see everybody a little bit later at our meeting.